Everything we ate during our 4.5-day trip to Chicago, strap in because it is a lot of food. As soon as we landed, we got right into an Uber and headed straight to Johnny's for some Italian beef and classic Italian ice. For dinner night one, we were trying out Monteverde, which is a modern Italian restaurant. Started out with a Wagyu beef skewer, burrata e ham, and the artichoke crostino. For our mains, we shared the spaghetti pomodoro and a meatball, as well as the sausage gramigna, all of which were super good. I think this place is up there with Siccio Mio. The next morning, we were up bright and early to go to Kasama. That insane line was all for this one breakfast sandwich, but I will say it was pretty good. We ordered ours ahead of time, which I definitely recommend doing. This ube huckleberry cake was definitely the star of the show and the reason that it is worth going to Kasama. Of course, as a matcha girl, I had to get many matchas on this trip. We also tried the Dubai sundae at Ghirardelli. For dinner, we had quite possibly the best meal I've ever had in my life at Bavette's. We of course started out with the warm sourdough bread and a wedge salad with the most incredible bacon. For our mains, we shared the spiced fried chicken and a ribeye, and some truffle mac and cheese and button mushrooms to accompany that. These mushrooms were actually incredible. Even if you don't like mushrooms, you have to try these. They had fried onions and a cream sauce. They were incredible. We also somehow scored the last apple pie of the night. This is an off-menu limited dessert item. Of course, I needed some more matcha the next morning before we headed out on our Chicago hot dog tour. Started out at Superdog, which is a classic from Michael's childhood and just a really good Chicago-style hot dog. Next, we tried out Gene and Jude's because we've been hearing about this place for years, and I am sadly reporting that we were not a huge fan of it. For dinner, we ended up at another hog salt restaurant. This is Armitage Ale House. We started with the Delice and sourdough. The cheese was a little bit too strong for us. We wanted to try a little bit of everything for the mains, so we got the chicken tikka masala with, of course, some charred naan bread. The chicken pot pie was their pie of the night, served with bone marrow like all of their pies, and this was definitely our favorite entree. We also got the fish and chips, which I really liked, but Michael was not the biggest fan of. But the reason we will be coming back to this restaurant is for this sticky date cake. This was absolutely the best bite in Chicago. We were back at it first thing in the morning to head to Lula Cafe. Got the Lula breakfast burrito, added bacon, and some pancakes. Then I had the best matcha of our trip at Gather's Tea Bar. This was a mango matcha latte. Before walking straight over to Jim's Original to get a Polish sausage, which was pretty amazing, by the way, and you cannot beat the price. Ended off the night at one of our staples, Pequot's Pizza, for some classic Chicago deep dish pizza. Of course, I needed one last matcha to finish off the trip, and a sweet treat, chocolate chip cookie from Le Burdick for the road. We packed our suitcases up and headed over to Vito and Nick's for one last slice of pizza, and that was everything we ate this trip. I will see you next year with some more Chicago food.